6 years ago, the 24-hour news cycle became overwhelmed with reports and images of a massive explosion off of the Gulf Coast and the irreparably destructive oil spill which continued for months afterward. In his new film, Deepwater Horizon, director Peter Berg forgoes retelling this familiar environmentalist horror story in favor of a more simple human tale of hubris and heroics. While the action scenes are immense and sensational, most of the movie is small scale. The limited ensemble of characters, the cramped setting, and the short time span of just one day allow the audience to connect with the characters and more fully appreciate the lives that were wasted or damaged by this tragedy. The straightforward, realistic performances and writing are the highlights of Deepwater Horizon. Mark Wahlberg's protagonist, Mike Williams, and his crewmates are characterized as hardworking, ordinary, blue-collar workers who are only concerned with doing their job as well as they can. Genuinely humorous quips are exchanged throughout the first half, doing little to serve the story, but at least building likable, humanistic personalities for each crew member, no matter how minor. John Malkovich is perfect as the frustratingly ignorant BP manager who chooses to ignore safety protocols in order to save money. The relationship between the working-class crew, best represented by Kurt Russell's rugged captain, and the corporate representatives is a fascinating one. BP's arrogance, greed, and cowardice are shown to be the root of the conflict of the film. The main flaw of this film is its failure to recognize its own strengths. While the phenomenal cast does the best with what little they have, I think the characters would be better served with a longer, meatier cut of the film. The final scenes following the action-packed explosion feel particularly brief and thrown together, hardly giving the audience a glimpse of the emotional and psychological aftermath each survivor must endure. To make matters worse, Deepwater Horizon fades to black and transitions into a sort of PowerPoint presentation of the real-life crew members who perished in the fire. Text and authentic video clips tell us about how the survivors moved on, as well as how the BP managers evaded consequences. This sort of ending belongs in a documentary, not a feature film. Hearing the voices of these people and seeing their real family photos shakes me out of the universe of the movie and weakens the overall emotional impact. Ultimately, the audience is cheated out of a decent catharsis. For this reason, I have to give the film 3 out of 5 stars. Perhaps an extended cut exists out there somewhere. Until then, I'm left both pleasantly surprised by Deepwater Horizon's big heart and also wondering what could have been if the movie were just slightly less restrained by genre tropes.